KILR Killer Games.
Hello gamers, simmers, and pilots. I am the Killer Gamer and welcome to my world tour around the world featuring Microsoft Flight Simulator 4, making the impossible possible, at least for now. We are in an area that does not have any actual coverage in the Minnesota, Wisconsin, upper Michigan area, Canada. We're all in that little area right there, and all of that scenery had to be created by yours truly. Now, am I a scenery designer? No. Is this stuff perfectly placed? Absolutely not. I do the best that I can, but I'm sure that there are others that can do it way better than I can. But for the purposes of our tour, I can get some things out there generally in the right place, so that way we can still fly around the world and the other simulators will be able to follow along with us, because hey, the later simulators are going to have the airports and the navs, but Flight Sim 4, no. So we have to do that as we go, at least until I can find until we get to an area that has scenery coverage, or an area where someone has already done scenery for it. But we will get there when we get there. But speaking of getting there, let's talk about where we're going. So pulling up our VFR map here, and that was not what I wanted to pull up. We are here at Sky Harbor. We're in the Duluth area. We're going to go here, right here, in John F. Kennedy Memorial, which is in Ashland. And, well, it's not halfway between Ironwood and the Duluth VOR. I keep seeing Lakeside, but I don't even know what this is. 11 LKI. I don't even know what that is. It's not an NDB, so I don't know what that is exactly. But I'll be tuning in Duluth and Ironwood, setting our vectors, and hopefully when those vectors meet, we should be somewhere near the airport. So and other simulators, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be doing a touch and go at La Pointe. They'll do a VFR tour around the islands and do a touch and go, and then finally land at Ashland. I haven't looked at, I'm going to guess that Flight Simulator 5 is not going to have these islands, or it won't have much of them. I definitely won't have the airport. Flight Simulator 98, possibly. 2000 is possible. I'm sure 2002 and up will have it, and X-Plane will definitely have it, especially if you're using orthophotos. So, but here, it's not there. In order to do this, I would have to create the polygons, and that would take up quite a bit of space to do that, and that's not something that, like I said, I want to try to do what I can, but within reason. And X-Plane, I'm going to be doing a landing at La Pointe, because there's a cafe there that I found called Tom's Burned Out Cafe, it sounded like an interesting thing to check out. So with the X-Plane version of this video, it probably will be long. It'll be a flight around the islands. It'll land. We'll go in for like lunch or something to the burned out cafe, and then continue on to Ashland, and then finally land there. So it'll be a good video, especially if you like that kind of thing. You know, some sightseeing, and like a quick stop for lunch, and then to the final destination. If you like that kind of thing, be sure to check out my X-Plane video. All right, let's go ahead and get our VORs tuned in here. Duluth is already tuned in. Ironwood is 108.8. I had to put these VORs in. Let's see if it's coming up here. Okay, not yet. We're not close enough to it. Let's see. Duluth. I'm going to say let's go off in a vector of 9.6. And whenever Ironwood comes up, we'll do a vector of 3.8. Okay. I think that should do it. So let's go ahead and get everything started here. Yeah, so we are here on... Now this island I did create. This is a really thin strip of an island. I didn't get it perfect. It was kind of a mess. But I did manage to get it in here. I had thought about maybe drawing one island and landing on it, but I don't think I would have been able to draw it as big as what the island really is. So I thought it would just be better if the simulators that do have it will do a touch and go, and then X-Plane will actually touch down, stop, take a break for lunch, and then finish the rest of the journey on to Ashland. Alright, I'm going to get one thing of flaps down. It's not a very long runway. And there we go. Turn on our autopilot. We've already got that set for 2,000 feet, which is plenty high considering the terrain isn't really changing. And it's roughly a 50-mile flight. Ugh. There goes vor number 1. Looks like it's beginning to move into the center. Well, we're getting closer. For those of you who are just joining us on the World Tour and wondering, are we really flying in the Michigan, Minnesota, Canada area, or did I just find some open spot and throw stuff in there to make it seem like we're actually flying to the airports? Well, my answer for you is the map. If we go to the map here, if you zoom out, you can see here's that little island, the thin little island that Sky Harbor's on. I drew that. There's a bridge over here too. We saw that on another episode. But there you go. So I'll be able to create scenery, custom scenery in all these places that don't have coverage, like sublogic coverage. Mexico, all this I'll be able to do. Unfortunately, South America, Asia, I don't know about those. I don't know how we're going to do that one. You see, there's not going to be any islands over here. It's just kind of angled off. I'm just kind of showing you that. Yeah, so when it comes to the other continents, Europe will be available because that's part of the Western tour from Sublogic. So I'll be able to put in airports that aren't in there on that one. And I think it might have like the northern part of Africa too. But as far as all the other continents, I've seen... Whoops. We're passing our board here. I have downloaded some scenery from people that have done stuff for South America or Africa. So I'm not quite sure what it is that they did. Maybe they just... Because once you leave the North American continent, especially if you look at the Europe one, there's like a section of it's like, yeah, that's Europe, and then the rest of it is like angled off in such a way where it's just one big huge piece of land, like a block that you need to carve something out of. And we may have to do something like that. Where we just go to this open area and I'll have to define it somehow. We got a ways to go before anything like that, so not really worried about it at the moment. Maybe by then I might be able to get some information in regards to the XY tile system and how that would translate to longitude and latitude. Because if I could do that, then I think I probably could easily shape things like a continent or an island, because right now with the tools that are here, it's not particularly easy to do a large patch of something. I don't think it was meant to either. Hasn't tuned in yet. We're just too far away from it. Now, something that I thought about doing, and I'll do that as soon as I fill up this particular scenery file that I've been working on, because it's 91% full. So I'll have to start a whole new scenery file for a different area. But I'm actually thinking about maybe plopping in like small airports and stuff that we're not necessarily going to go land at. But I can just put down the runways. There's no big deal there. If we're not going to land on it, then at least it's, you know, some scenery. And then the airports that we do go to, I'll put in taxiways and buildings. got probably about another 30 miles left. I want to take a look at a few more aircraft that we can fly with Flight Simulator 4. Oh, I really hate when it does that. I've got to load it back up here. First of all, there it is. This the ironwood vor finally kicked in. There it goes. So 64 miles to Ironwood, which we're not going to. So once these needles come close to the center, we should be somewhere near the airport. Alright. Pull this up. I will keep an eye on the flight. So let's see. We have a B727 tutorial from Microwings magazine. And a Lockheed L-14W, a T-6 Texan, a Hawker Hart biplane, B-52 bomber. I love the B-52s, as in a group. 1903 Wright Flyer, 727, Tampico Cub, United States Air Force T-38 Talon, Northwest. Lots of jetliners. P518. I'm more interested in general aviation, but we might make use of some of these jets too. Spy plane, Aer Lingus, MD-80. Star Lifter, Wild Weasel with a mod, F-111, P-51 Mustang, Northrop German Junkers, Beechcraft, Beech Baron, Beechcraft King Air. Those are possibilities. X-30 hypersonic jet. Airbus Continental. I think there's a way that I can like get these aircraft and like put them down as static aircraft at an airport. That'd be pretty cool. Space Shuttle, looks like the second one I've seen. Ryan Navian, Extra 300, Warthog, F-18 Hornet, Santa's Sled. World War I British, Airco, another jetliner. Icelander United, Canada Air, DHC-6, Twin Otter, Weedhopper, 767, the C-130, Piper J-3, Waco Meteor, Blue Angel, Hawker MK1 Hurricane, Canada Air, Messerschmitt, Sukhoi 747, de Havilland, Lockheed, Jetstar, Northrop 737, a glider, Curtiss Tomahawk, Beechcraft Bonanza, Challenger 600 Bizjets, de Havilland Vampire. Never heard of that one. Alright, last page. Well, for this time. 146-2 Regional Jet, Curtiss-Wright, Subversive Transport, Monoplane Twin Mustang, Flying Fortress, a Kinnaird Wing Aircraft, British Aerospace, C-63, 727 aircraft files. Alright. Not too much. Lots of jetliners. Let's see, we're heading looking at possible runways we could land on. I think we can land on either 13 or 20. 20 is a little longer. I imagine we don't have too much longer left to go. Assuming that I got all this stuff set up in the right spot. Should be getting close. I see the bay right here. And I did put a yellow patch down for Ashland, so if we see that, we should be close. Oh, there's Ashland right there. Question is, where's the airport? The needle's coming in. Wait. I think that's it. That's it. Okay. Turn autopilot off. Start getting some flaps down. I think I'll pick this runway over here. I'm not sure which one it is. I don't know why it does that. There's the runway. And keep an eye out on this direction here. We're looking out to the left. That's the left wing there, so we're looking out. What is that? Like 11 o'clock? 12 being straight forward. So between 10 and 11, looking at an angle. Okay. Might be enough. Oh, not quite. Close. You can see the Vasi there, white over white, so we're a bit high. But I want to be high enough to where I can line ourselves up with the runway. I'm kind of seeing, but we go. Looks like we're seeing a red. White over red. I probably could have landed at one of the other runways. Why are we pushed over this direction here? Come on. Is it me, or are we just going so fast? It just seems like we're going much faster than what we should have been, even when I had full flaps down. I wonder if it's the emulator. Alright, we'll park it right here. And shut everything off there. Okay, so we are in Ashland, Wisconsin, I believe. Yes, Ashland, Wisconsin at John F. Kennedy Memorial. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is pull up. Let's see. I'm going to pull up the airport so that way you can see the real airport and compare it with what I did on Flight Simulator 4 using the Aircraft and Scenery Designer. So we'll pull up the map here. There we go, we got the two runways. I got a taxiway here in the corner coming out. Just a couple of buildings. There's this long stretch thing here that comes up. There's a building. So let's go and take a look at a satellite view now of the real thing. Okay, so here's the airport. You can see here's the taxiways. I didn't put these little things on the end. I thought that was just a bit too much. But I got this in, it comes down at angles. I have one building here, I don't have all this stuff. But here's the long building, and then I put like another building in here, and that was it. I don't need to do a whole lot, I don't think, just a general idea, if anything. But that wraps up this flight. Thanks for joining me on this retro flight simulator trip, and be sure to check out the same flight on the other simulators. I won't have to create scenery on those, except for maybe Flight Simulator 5 and 98, possibly. 98's got more, so it might have this one in there. I don't know. But 5, yeah. Probably will have to create them on that one. But, yeah, that's okay. We're doing it as we go. Hope to see you again on the next flight, or, for this world tour. It's going to be long. It's going to be interesting. We'll see how far we can actually go. How far can we push this old simulator? Alrighty, thanks, and we'll see you next time. I hope you're enjoying these videos as much as I am making them. They really mean a lot to me, and I'm glad I can share them with you. This same flight can also be seen on these other flight simulators, so they are great if you'd like to make comparisons. If you'd like to see more flight simulator content, then be sure to subscribe to get automatic notifications. There's also that bell thing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around. Bring a parachute.